Hello everybody, this is VG Time back with another deck profile, and as you see here we're looking at the set 2 Vegito leader. I decided to lay this whole deck out because when I took several times to record this, it took a very long time to lay all these cards out and display them in great detail. So for those of y'all that want to see what the whole deck looked like, here it is, and let's just get going. So the leader, like most set 1 and 2 leaders, doesn't draw on the front side, but when you're at 4 less life, you draw 2 and you flip them over. He has a very interesting permanent that says that Gokus and Vegetas count as red, blue, and green in all areas. That means that when you use them for energy, you could tap them for any color, that being red, blue, and green. He also, when he swings, has the ability to mill the top card of the deck, and if the card happens to be red, he gets plus 5k, which is important because it allows him to pressure awakened leaders, which a lot of leaders awaken pretty early nowadays. On the back side, he has the same permanent as the front side, which is this side right here. And when he swings, he draws a card. And if you happen to have 10 Gokus and Vegetas in your drop area, which rarely comes up, but if it does come up, you can give him plus 5k and double strike. So first off, we're going to start with Vegito Polymorphic Potara. This guy right here, you could pay 1, drop him to the drop area, and you could pull out Goku and Vegeta with cost 2 or less from either the deck or the drop, put them into play in rest mode with their skills negated. So the only things you have access to for that are the 1 drops and these 2 drops right here. And I chose these specific colors for a reason, which I'll get into as we get further along these deck profile. The reason why this card is more powerful in this version of the deck versus the blue Vegito or even the green Vegito is because of this new card right here, who has the ability to Union Potara for free if your leader is a red Vegito and you draw 2 cards. So on turn 1, you could use this to go into those guys to make this guy on turn 1. He's a 25k barrier with 2 activate mains that allow you to go into Vegitos. You could pay double red to go into 7 or less Vegito from your deck, or pay 4 red to go from a 10 or less Vegito in your hand. We played 4 copies of this Vegeta right here, who is a counterplay, self-awakening, and just all-around good card. It also came out in an anniversary box 2020, and he costs 1 if you have 3 or more energy. We do the same thing with this Vegeta, not Vegeta, this Goku. This guy right here costs 1 if you have 3 or more energy. He's a counter attack, and you can pay a red to take a life to put him into play, so he's also self-awakening. We're going with the Master Roshi super combo in this deck simply because if all things play out well, we are making a Vegito on turn 2, or at least 3 the latest. And if they out that Vegito, then you're going to have all the requirements necessary for your super combo. A lot of the times, the way that your opponent tries to deal with a set 1 or 2 leader is to run you out of resources. But that's kind of hard to do in this deck because of the amount of cards that you're able to generate due to the skill set within the kit of the cards. Negate Unending Awakening. This could be anything, honestly, but I always like playing that card in red Saiyan leaders decks if I can. That could also be Whis Coercion, which is a very strong choice. That could be Flying Nimbus, since we do play a decent amount of yellow cards. You could run, a split of that plus drop area negates if you're really worried about Invoker and things of that nature. Going into blue, we have Saiyan Bloodline Son Goku. He could search the top 3 for Goku and Vegeta because what he does is searches for a blue or yellow Saiyan. That means the Gokus and Vegetas all count, even the Strength of Legends. They also count. This Vegeta right here has the ability to swing, take a life, and double strike, so he's self-awakening, and he's a 1-drop double striker, which is good against unisons. We play 4 beam because we have blue in the deck and a reliable source of it. Then we get to the yellow guys. They're here simply to charge and to be used for Potara. If you charge one of these, you get access to all 4 primary colors for the game. So that's why you kind of want to open one, simply just to be able to charge it and to have access to everything. Planet Vegeta. This right here searches out 4 or less Saiyans. The primary target, of course, is this. So even if you don't open this, but you have this in hand and a means to play this card, you're still good for a turn 3 Vegito, possibly even a turn 2 if you happen to have a Senzu Bean in hand. Now, because we're able to generate all 4 colors fairly reliably, we are running 2 copies of Vegeta Strength of Legends. This card right here is absolutely nuts. It allows you to pay 4, which is red, blue, green, and yellow, to warp one of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier, so it's barrier removal. Then it's a 30k double strike dual attacker that draws a card each time it attacks. So you're going to be dealing a lot of damage or stripping a lot of cards from your opponent's hand trying to defend this guy while you gain cards. Then we get into the Bomb Squad. We have Hyper Rush Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. This card right here is the primary Vegito you're going to be going into. He is, if you make him off of this guy from the deck, a hard +6. It could be argued he's a +7 because you're not playing anything from your hand. So he's a hard +6, a soft +7. He comes out, he pops one of your opponent's battle cards, make him discard a card at random. You draw 2 cards and you take up to 2 life. So he is also self-awakening. And if you are able to fulfill all that, that's at least a +6. He's a 25k triple striker, which if you pull this off on turn 2 is hard for your opponent to be able to deal with. And he is even worth like putting a card on like to 30 to guarantee you get that triple strike through. Repeated Force Vegito is your late game finisher. You could either play him on top of one of these guys late in the game, or you could just pay the 5 and Union a random Goku and Vegeta that you have around, and that'll allow you to swing with this dude. This dude is at least swinging for somewhere around 50 to 60k, assuming that the game progressed the way it should. And if that's the case, your opponent's going to have a hard time stopping him. He's a triple striker as well, so they're going to have to, basically negate him or empty their hand. Now, this guy right here is surprisingly easy to pull off. There's a world where I want to run more of them, but I kind of don't love the card. I just think it's a pretty good card and a decent one of. So if you make this guy on turn 2 and they out him by turn 4, this guy is free. Because he's green, you're going to use one of these and one of these. So that's blue, yellow, and then you have that guy underneath him, which is red. So you get to play him for free. You're going to more than likely have the energy requirement to activate his activate main. So he gets to swing once for 35. You get to activate main by paying red, blue, yellow, green to restand him to give him double strike, crit, and dual attack. So you get 3 35k attacks, 2 of which are double strike and crit, which is very powerful. And then for our ultimate, we're playing Power Potara. The reason for this, or versus the 10 drop, is because this guy has value almost regardless of what your opponent does. There's only 2 cards that they could play that stop him from doing what he's supposed to be doing. Actually 3 cards, but less so cards than what hits the other Vegito. Plus, he's easier to cast than the other Vegito. He ends up only costing 5, and you have no issue paying 5 for this dude, and it's easy to pay the 5 for him. But when he comes into play, you get to tap up to 4 of your opponent's cards and draw 4 cards, which is absolutely the stones, and I think is more important than triple strike, triple attack. Because usually by the time you're pulling out something like this, or even a 10 drop, your opponent has either walled up for defense, which this guy chops down, and they're at low life totals, so having a triple attack doesn't really matter. So I just think this is overall a better card to use as your Vegeta Ultimate or Vegito Ultimate. So that's it for the deck profile. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And I'll catch you again another time. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And check out other videos on the channel. This is VG Time, signing out.